Headphones on. Welcome to the live. What is going on? Hey, Maha. I'm sorry. Book is girly. I don't know what to call you. I'll just call you Maha. If you don't mind. I'm sorry if I butcher your name. Hello. Welcome to the live. Happy Thursday. Happy to have you in. What did we eat today? I actually just had a donut for mental health and sanity. It's really good. It's pronounced the same as Maya. Perfect. Maya. So every time I see my live, Maya. Got it. Makes things really easy for me. Amazing. Because I know you've been hopping in the live, been really appreciating you. So it's nice to know how to pronounce it so I don't make a fool of myself. So appreciate that. But going back to what I ate, so I had that donut for mental health and sanity, but I said, where's my protein source? Where's my fiber source? Which is what I want all of you to do when you're greeted with something like a donut. And I'm like, looked at my fridge, got 2 yogurt cups, around 16 grams of protein. Oh, we got a few blackberries. Okay, cool. So I got the blackberries, got the yogurt, had that, enjoyed that. And then I moved on to the donut afterwards. Had the one donut with a black iced coffee. Really, really good. And now I feel pretty satisfied. If I were to just eat the donut, honestly, I would still be hungry by now. What's going on, Andy? Happy to see you in. How have you been doing? But yeah, that's why it's such an easy change to just add more protein, add a little bit more fiber, and just get that much more satisfaction out of your meals. And because you're really doing yourself a disservice if you just don't add one of those to your meals and snacks. It just results in you just being hungry. Who wants to be hungry throughout the entire day? Been doing great. I'm glad to hear that. Eating is getting a bit worse. I'm sorry to hear that. Along the journey of, going through, especially something like an ED, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. Having that support system in place is really beneficial. Friends, family, professionals on your side. Eggs in a bagel, I love that. I'm not sure, and I'm trying to say bagel correctly. Is that correctly, guys? Because I'm getting a lot of flack online for the way I say bagel. We're gonna say it bagel. Is it bagel? I don't know. It's so unnatural. I don't know. Bagel, whatever. I like bagels. We'll say. I think that's good. Bagel, 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 bagel. I'm done saying that. Eggs in a bagel. Bagel. Now that's another way to say it. Bagel. I don't know. That word is so, I don't know, it's triggering. You say it not bagel, and then everyone is there's a big row and so many comments saying I'm saying it wrong. But we're all from different places. We pronounce things differently. As long as you can understand what I'm saying, then you're going to get the message and the value that I try to provide. So that's what matters. Love eggs as well, and I love that combination. It's really, really good. I like to, what I like to add? The avocado for healthy fats and potassium. It's really good. We have 13 people in here. If we could shoot this up to 5 likes, I would love you all forever. You ate macaroni with beef for lunch? I love that. It's nice. Thank you so much, Maya. I appreciate it. I love how, you had the beef with the macaroni. You take it a step above. You can have some veggies in there as well. And then you have a super well-rounded, filling lunch that just feels great. Thank you so much for the second like. Really appreciate you. Hey, Nico, I had a 100-pound loss milestone. Amazing. Yesterday, so much gratitude for your channel, not just judgmental pro. How much suggest support? I'm so proud of you, Lorianne. That is so incredible to reach that 100-pound milestone. I had a client who I'm no longer working with because he already achieved a lot of the things he wanted to achieve, which is really great. With my clients, I like to make sure that they graduate out of the program. They're not just, in the program forever. It's like there's a process, there's a graduation process. I teach them what they need to do it on their own for the rest of their life. And that 100-pound milestone is a really incredible accomplishment. And I hope that you can continue to build on that progress and maintain it too. And I'm so thankful for your support. It means so much. We have 5 likes. If we get this to 10 likes, we've got 22 people in here. I would be very appreciative of that. I'm trying to do something different with my live, like maybe a green screen in the back. I don't know. Because if some random person that doesn't know me like scrolls, what would be their incentive to stay? They just see me at the end, unless they kind of like how I look, which some people don't. Tell me why. I had someone DM me, and this person follows me on Instagram, and she's like, "Sucks to be you. You're so ugly." I'm like, okay. And then I just respond. I'm like, "Thank you, appreciate your support." And she hearted it, and that was that. And that's a little bit strange, but I was a lot of these times where people go out of their way to insult someone else is often a reflection of how they're actually feeling about themselves, and I understand that. And I'm just gonna be positive back, and maybe that made her feel happy that I responded in a positive way. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna hold. I don't really take things too personal. Thank you for sharing. Of course, of course. And everyone is, especially in the chats, like anyone that ever has like valuable advice, things that have worked for them, like feel free to comment that and other people can see those comments. I love not only you learn from me, I learn from you too. It's a two-way street. I haven't experienced everything there is to experience in life. There's many other people that have gone through different experiences and have value and insight to provide. So we can all, learn off each other at the end of the day. Avocado! Let's go, Kim. Love to see it. I had this avocado sitting in my fridge for a while because let's just say I stocked up a lot on avocado. And, sometimes they go bad, right? And this one, I'm like, it was the last one because I bought new ones that are ripening right now. And I'm like, this is going to be such a like bad avocado. I open it up. It is the most perfect looking avocado. Like it made so green, so beautiful. And I'm like, this is a work of art. I was going to take a picture of it. I should have taken a picture of it. And I'm like, wow, this lasted, quite some time. I was pleasantly surprised. Oh, whoops, I missed a comment. Hi, I'm a student, 16/8 intermittent fasting. Haven't had enough time to work out properly because of my studies. Can I lose fat? Yeah, you can. I would say, what's very beneficial is a lot of the walking that you're going to be doing. Not only your diet, but like those opportunities that you have to walk, take those opportunities instead. Especially if you're a student on campus, you're going to be walking around a lot. When there's an elevator, I remember when I was in university, there was this building that was about 20 floors high. And it was a class in which it was mostly done at home, but you needed to hand in your assignment in person. So where I would hand in my assignment was on the top floor of a 20-story building. What I would do is actually go up, take the stairs. And I was a little bit out of breath by the time, because this was like quite some time ago, by the time I got up there, but it was quite a workout. And I got to go down the stairs too. So I was getting, maybe a couple thousand extra steps just going up 20 floors, going down 20 floors, as opposed to taking the elevator. It took a little bit more time, but those small things actually really help in the pursuit of fat loss. I'm 16, currently 135 cutting, tennis player, strength training. Getting less lean as I eat fewer calories. What's happening? So it could have to do with your basically your macronutrient breakdown. So are we eating enough protein? Because you are strength training quite a bit. You're playing tennis, so you're doing a lot of stuff that's going on. So you are stimulating muscle mass, but are you giving the body the nutrients it needs to recover? Are you overtraining? Are you getting symptoms of overtraining? Whether that's like excessive fatigue, brain fog, increased cravings, disturbed sleep, things like that. So it could have to do with like not getting enough, protein in your diet for adequate recovery. What are my views on semi-glutide? It has its uses. I have some clients that are on semi-glutide, but I would say for the most part, it might not be a long-term fix for, I would like, let's just say you're someone who's morbidly obese. It was initially the initially use for that drug was for diabetes, but let's just say you're using it as a weight loss tool. The best thing you can do to use as a way is to not fully rely on it and focus on building habits. Because, do you want to be on this for the rest of your life? I've heard some people, actually, their doctors saying, you need to take this for the rest of your life, essentially, which we don't even know the long-term effects of these things, which is, a little bit alarming. But I would say that, your primary focus is on building healthy habits that are sustainable for you at the end of the day. That is what your primary focus is. If you want to use semi-glutide to give you a little bit of an advantage, a little bit of just use as a tool in your toolbox of weight loss, because at the end of the day, we all like most people want to lose weight, right? But we want to keep it off. It would suck just to like get on semi-glutide, lose a bunch of weight, and then get off and then gain it back. Like you literally took a drug and wasted your time essentially. And I'm pretty sure it's an out-of-pocket expense for semi-glutide too. So you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money just to end up frustrated. So that's why healthy habits are extremely critical when it comes to using semi-glutide in conjunction with the healthy habits. Okay. Love to see you enjoy those avocados. I love to see everyone enjoying avocados. I've seen everyone in the chats saying, hey, like I never ate avocado and now I'm eating avocado. And, it's amazing. It's amazing. We're really starting a good, healthy fat movement, which is really incredible. And hey, if you don't like avocado, there's so many other sources of healthy fat: salmon, nuts, seeds, olive oils. There's other ways to get your dietary fats in that are going to have that similar effect. So, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't feel like I'm judging you, low key, if you don't like avocado. It's not a big deal. You're not always going to like everything the next person likes at the end of the day. It's just, for the people that never ate avocado and might potentially like it, at least I'm inspiring them to try it and see if they do like it. We are almost at 10 likes. Just need one more like. I would really appreciate it if we could get to 10 likes. That would be amazing. Hey, Katerina, how's it going? Happy to have you in. I just made some homemade jambalaya. Strawberries. Tell me, what is that? I'm sure that's some kind of ethnic dish. What is it made out of? What are the ingredients? I haven't heard of it. Also eating a sunny diet, 150 grams of protein, currently only 2,600 chapters on training days. Move around 2020. Yeah, Peter, that would be a mystery then, because if you're eating enough protein, you're not. It could be like you feel like you're not getting leaner. It could be that you're looking in the wrong areas, because your body is not going to lose fat in all areas proportionally. It loses fat randomly. So you could be losing fat in your hamstrings, which you're not even looking at because you're too busy looking at the things that we look at, like our chest, our side fat, our stomach fat. These areas are a stubborn area. Oh, we have 14 likes. That's absolutely amazing. But a lot of people say I have the stubborn belly fat, the stubborn side fat, because oftentimes with a lot of people, that is the last place your body takes fat away from. And you could be getting more lean calves, hamstring, things that we're just not looking at our back. And so I would say, like, you're in a deficit, you're training hard, you're eating enough protein, just give it time. And you should see eventually, if your weight is coming down, especially on the scale, like, and your strength is still up, that is an indicator that you're, still keeping your muscle mass and losing fat. So just give it time, and those areas that are stubborn areas will come down as long as you stay consistent with it. I'm 12. I want to lose fat, but slow and healthy. Any tips? Cannot eat sugar, by the way, because I'm an intolerant. So, you can't eat sugar, so that makes it a lot easier because sugar's not really filling. I would say, especially as a 12-year-old, it's more about just building habits as opposed to, getting hyperfixated on numbers and things like that. So, just making sure you have protein and fiber in every single meal and snack. I can't say that enough. I can scream that to the heavens at this point. You know, just to give you an example, I had a donut and, you know, for me, I have this habit where for me to just have a donut on its own with nothing would be extremely rare. I sat down, I said, "Hey, I need a protein and fiber source." I looked in my fridge. I had two Greek yogurt cups, got those, and that's my protein source. Saw some blackberries already had. There's my fiber source. Boom, had the yogurt cup with the berries. Then I had the donut after, and I felt like it was way more filling, way more satisfying. But you can't even eat sugar. So I would say, protein and fiber based meals are going to be your best friend. Fibers like anything, fruits, veggies, beans, legumes, whole grains, things like that. And then your proteins are anything like lean meats, ground beef, steak, turkey, beef, egg whites, eggs. Even lentils are really good plant-based protein source, tofu, seitan, Greek yogurts, cottage cheese. So those are a bunch of proteins. So protein powder, protein bars are more supplemental sources of protein. Okay. You mog. Moisty, we don't need to get caught up in comparisons. I think the most important thing is just focus on yourself because once upon a time, if you go look at my videos of my transformation, once upon a time, you know, I took it upon myself to just focus on myself and just maximize the best that you can be at the end of the day. Focus on that. That's all you can be, the best that you can be. Oftentimes, most people never reach the best version that they could possibly be. And it just requires you committing to yourself, making the changes that you can reasonably in a healthy and sustainable way. And, obviously, you're more than your looks, your personality, how kind you are to others. All of these things come together to make you and unique at the end of the day. Views on PCOS. So, PCOS obviously can make weight loss harder, but not impossible. So, it just requires, a little bit more fine tuning with the meals. It's not going to, in the rate, I work with women with PCOS, a lot of women with PCOS, and the weight loss a little bit slower. So, you know, can it be a little bit frustrating for the client to see, oh, I only lost this much? Yes. And that's why you have to frame it saying, hey, these small wins stack up to huge wins down the road. And that's why I've had PCOS clients that lose, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 plus pounds. It just takes a little bit more time. And by the time they lose that weight, they are able to sustain it because we took our time with it and not tried to be overly restrictive. I think, especially as a PCOS woman, you try to compare yourself with other women that don't necessarily have PCOS, and you see how fast they can lose weight, and it's a bit discouraging. And then it causes you to be demotivated, and then you fall off and things like that. So it's the key is just being consistent with those small habits, celebrating those small wins. I went for my walk. I had my salmon and sweet potato today. I did my 20-minute workout today. Celebrating that, being proud of yourself, carrying that momentum in the next day, and just keep doing good. I'm 17 or almost 17. I've struggled with losing weight. I've lost drastic weight twice before back in my life, but I'm struggling right now. Any advice for cravings? I eat good meals, but have sweet cravings. I'm 154. So I would say, in terms of cravings, you know, so by good meals, I'm assuming protein and fiber. I would say try not to restrict these foods that you're craving. Work with the craving. The more you resist this craving, the stronger it will become. And what I would say is what I like to do is if you have a craving for something, allow yourself to have it, but have that protein and fiber based meal or snack first. And then by the time you get to whatever you're craving, you won't need as much of it as you think. For example, just take me for an example. I used to sit down and have a dozen donuts. I'm not lying, a dozen, 12 donuts. And what has allowed me to reduce, I had a bit of a food addiction too, but what has allowed me to now be okay with eating one or maybe one and a half is that protein and fiber beforehand. That really helps me, manage my hunger. Plus some internal work with food addiction too, because oftentimes with food addiction, you just keep eating regardless of your hunger cues, past your hunger cues. You just keep filling yourself up, and it gets, to a point. I remember I could barely move because I ate so much food once. I thought I had to go to like the emergency room. It was pretty bad. So, again, the protein, the fiber, the healthy fats, making sure you have that nutrient dense mindset first, and then allow yourself to have that, satisfy that sweet craving after, results in a pattern of, being able to sustain a diet for the long term and not being too overly restrictive. Omega-3 is good for healthy fats. Absolutely. Agree. So that'd be like chia seeds, salmon. Avocado actually doesn't have, you know, I wouldn't say they're a significant source of omega-3s necessarily. Um, my body fat, my body stores fat mostly in the hips, thighs, glutes area. I was wondering if would make me look huge. I don't want that. So if you store fat in those areas, but honestly, I would say that you're never going to build enough muscle in those areas to make them look very well. It would be rare, but obviously if you're putting more mass in those areas, it will look a little bit bigger. But if you lose fat and build muscle at the same time, then the area will have, probably the desired shape you're after with less fat on it. So, you know, it if you in theory, if you don't lose any fat and then build muscle, then yes, it will get bigger. But if you lose some fat, build some muscle, it'll overall become more toned, which is what a lot of people are after. 18 likes. We're almost at 20 likes. If we get to 20 likes, that would be absolutely incredible. Been enjoying this live. So let me just catch up the questions. I missed a lot of questions. I'm so sorry. Greetings from Argentina. What's going on, Dylan? Happy to see you in here all the way from Argentina. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Maya. I appreciate it. I appreciate the encouragement for my body fat's mostly on chest, hips, and thighs. Yeah, see, it's different for everybody. Like we store fat for myself, like I'll store fat in my glutes. I try my best to do legs and like build up my quads and everything. And like I feel like everything goes to my glutes, like muscle mass, uh, fat tissue, like it just all gets stored in my glutes, which I'm not a big fan of, but you can't really change it. It is what it is. Hey, what's going on, Alana? Happy to have you in. How to get abs, a smaller stomach. So, in terms of, there's no specific exercises to lose fat in your stomach area. Your body just pulls fat from random regions when you're in a calorie deficit for a prolonged period of time. Eventually, it has no choice but to go to your mid region. So, as long as you maintain that calorie deficit, it will pull the fat from that area. But if you're looking to build abs that are more visible at higher levels of body fat, then that's when ab movements come in. Namely, weighted ab movements are good. So, for example, at the gym, they have a weighted ab machine typically, where I have one at my gym where you hold the handles like this and you go down like this, and really good, really good, really good squeeze. Love that. Really love that. That's pretty much the only ab workout I do. Or on I'll hold, when you do crunches, you can hold a weight plate and go up with it. When you do weighted ab movements, you can progress the exercise. With just doing body weight, the only way to progress is just do more reps. And eventually, like, how many reps are you going to do? You're going to be essentially in the gym forever doing 25, 30, 45, just keep going. But you can keep your rep ranges reasonable while increasing weight, and you're going to get the job done more effectively in building more blockier, more visibly apparent abs. Your videos have helped me so much. It honestly makes me so happy seeing you live. Just one question. If you overate yesterday, how do I get back on track? Great question. I would say it's really as simple as just going back to your usual routine and not getting in this cycle of binge restrict, binge restrict, binge restrict. Even my sister was just texting me. She's like, she's trying to lose fat. And she's like, I overate. I'm going to fast tomorrow. I'm like, don't do that. Because, she's going to fast tomorrow. The day after, she's going to be insanely hungry and just want to eat everything. And then she's going to binge eventually again. So the best thing you can do is you have to it can be hard to kind of get this through, but you have to understand that one day of overeating does not do pretty much any permanent damage whatsoever. What does start to, put how fat is put on is over several weeks of overeating. Are you going to be doing several weeks of overeating? And even if you did several weeks overeating, it's just as simple as getting back on plan right after those weeks, and you should see the following month, back down to normal. So, after one day, just, say, hey, I overate, learn from that experience, whatever your triggers were that, caused you to overeat. For example, I had a client who we had to figure out meal timings that would work for her. She would go to work, forget to eat. She would get home insanely hungry and just want to eat everything and snack on everything. So we kind of built in, I told her to put in reminders in her phone to eat during work, bring those foods with her. And we found a meal timing that really works for her where she can manageably affect her appetite throughout the day. So things like that, small things like that, learning why you overate, breaking down like the thoughts, feelings, emotions tied to that and the subsequent actions, and, learning for the future, and just, putting one foot in front of the other at the end of the day. Thank you so much, Maya. Yeah, no problem. The gyms are always so dirty. I'm scared of them. Yeah, it's gym etiquette seems to be somewhat of a concern. I guess not so much of a concern for people that don't, I guess, keep things like nice and tidy. Even like some gyms, they have I've seen employees sitting there and there's like visible messes that they don't really get to. But again, I've never worked at a gym. I don't know what priorities or checks. I know that they try their best, of course. And there's only so much you can do when someone just repeatedly doesn't, put weights back, or you go to the bathroom and there's like, it's like a mess in there, or, you know, if you're sweating on a machine and then you just leave it with drenched in a bunch of sweat. So I would say best thing you can do is, just clean everything before using it. That is probably the best thing you can do to avoid things. I've heard people get things like ringworm at the gym because, I'm pretty sure that's like a contagious skin, not, I wouldn't say illness, but some kind of skin rash that can be passed if you don't clean things. So just cleaning the weights before, cleaning the equipment you use before using it. They usually have like spray bottles of disinfectant with a wipe will probably keep you good to go. We have 20 likes. Let's go. Really appreciate it. Means so much. We love avocado. I love to hear that. I love all of you. Let's see if I missed any. If I missed any questions, feel free to repeat it. 20. Oh, sorry, I did miss a question. Is it more effective to focus on inches lost rather than number on the scale? Just asking this okay, so yep, great question. Weight's going to fluctuate every single day. What's really the best way to track weight, and I think tracking inches is great. You take body measurements and you take scale. These are pieces of data that are super important. So tracking those over time, really valuable. Weekly average weight is amazing. So if you're weighing yourself every single day, what you want to do after the week is add all those up, all those 7 weigh-ins, add them up, divide it by 7. That is your weekly average weight. You want to track that week to week. And if you see a downward trend there, we are, losing fat. And then track the body measurements too. And that kind of gives you an indicator of like how your body loses fat over time. So you might say, hey, I lose fat on my waist before my thighs or something like that. So I think it's valuable. I have a lot of clients that do both, and it's really nice to have more data at hand as opposed to just a number on the scale, because the number on the scale doesn't really tell you what's going on in your body, if you're gaining muscle or, losing fat, or how much water your body is storing and things like that. So it's nice to have more pieces of data. Can I speak about total daily energy expenditure? Yeah, absolutely. I made a really good video on it. So total daily energy expenditure is made up of a few things. It's made of your basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories your body burns just to keep the lights on, just to keep you alive, not moving at all. There's the thermic effect of food, which is the amount of calories your body burns to digest food, protein being the specific macronutrient that costs your body the most to break down. So it's good to eat high protein if you're looking to really maximize that. There's non-activity exercise thermogenesis. So it's like any of those movements that you're doing that are not purposeful. So me doing this while talking is burning calories because I'm moving. but I'm not doing it for the purpose of exercise. So that's actually what you do throughout the day burns more calories than actually exercise activity thermogenesis, which is the purposeful exercise. Unless maybe if you're doing really high intensity exercise that burns like a lot, like maybe a ton of calories, weightlifting doesn't really burn too many calories. It's more so for the purpose of muscle building, which putting on muscle boosts your metabolism. So that kind of indirectly helps with fat loss. But those are the four. Oh yeah, that would be one, two, three. Those are like the four aspects that makes your total daily energy expenditure. The biggest one being your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. I'm going to answer a few more questions. What's my time right now? 1:12 p.m. Eastern Standard. Would you ever want to live in the U.S.? Yes, absolutely. Ideally, probably like the southern U.S. where the weather is good, or California or something. I just like good weather. I want to be able to go outside and wear a t-shirt and shorts all year round. I would love that. Absolutely love that. And for some reason, I don't know why I've been interested in alligators on my TikTok. I've just been watching like documentaries, but I don't know why. In Florida, there's a lot of alligators, but apparently this is so random. Apparently there's this alligator that I don't forget what's I think he died or something, but he had killed like 100 people. I can't believe it. It's like I think it was some like in the Southeast Asia or something. I'm not too sure, but uh, yeah, they sneak up and they're fast. And then I was looking at hippos and things. I don't know. Your TikTok's weird. You watch one video of a topic and then it shoots you a bunch of other videos, and it makes sense because if you were engaging with a topic, then they want to show you more things like that to keep you on the app. So it makes sense. But I was going down this world. I spent an hour like watching hippos, crocodiles, just stories of polar bears for some reason. So that's lately been my TikTok feed. Come to Chicago. I would love to go to Chicago mainly to try the pizza and maybe go to like a Cubs game. That'd be really cool. Wrigley Field, maybe a Bears game. But yeah, mainly I like the weather. It's really all about for me, it's like just enjoying that nice sun. And don't get me, I'm in Canada. The winters are pretty, not the greatest. I live in the most southern point in Canada, so I get like the most mild winters, but even the mild winters are a little bit too much for me. Okay. I'm just gonna answer one more question here. Can we eat a little less protein from our goal? Like my goal is 100. We can eat it. Yeah, absolutely. It's fine. It's not really. I'm with protein. Just try to get as much as you reasonably can without making it seem like it's too much for you. Sometimes some people do fine on a little bit less protein, and you're still gonna gain lean muscle mass, lose fat. You don't always they push the reason proteins pushed a lot, especially by a specific because supplements sell protein. They want you to buy their protein powders. So, protein is important, don't get me wrong, but don't feel pressure to hit a specific number. More so try to give yourself a range, a leeway where maybe some days you'll fall short, maybe some days you eat a little bit more. So that's what I would say in terms of protein. Other than that, I really and hey Roblox, I did see you came in here. And Roblox, I know you have a lot of questions. I will answer those if you drop them in the comments of my recent videos, or if you drop it on the live VOD here when it gets uploaded. We got 22 likes. I really appreciate it. This was an awesome live. Really, really enjoyed it. I try to go live about 2 times a week, usually like Tuesday, Thursdays, but I'm not committed to those days. That kind of just what works best for my schedule currently. If you want to know, like when I go live, ideally just put on those notifications and it'll shoot you a notification when I'm live. Really appreciate all the great questions. Really appreciate all of you coming in here, and we're building this community of inclusivity, positivity, welcoming, decreasing the barriers when it comes to just achieving a healthy lifestyle. Again, I can't say it enough. I'm so thankful, and we're almost at 160,000 subscribers, which I never would imagine we'd hit here. I'm very appreciative of all of you. Again, if you have any residing questions, you can comment on my recent 2 shorts. I always look at the recent shorts comments, try to get back to all of them, and then the live will be uploaded too. You can comment your questions there. Other than that, I appreciate and love all of you, and I will see you all in the next live.